And Bettis well over 1,000 as a rusher. Hadn't happened in Pittsburgh since the last Super Bowl team, that '79 team, when it was Bradshaw, Stallworth, and Harris that had the big numbers.
You know, those numbers are almost the same. You look at it.
Went on to beat the Rams in Super Bowl 14. Second down, short 5. Bettis again. Has the first down and more. Battles to the 45.
Well, if they're going to they're in the game, but I mean, really get this thing back to normal, to maybe a 3-point game, yeah, they got to go to this guy Bettis. Watch the power of Bettis. The holes are in the middle, and he just makes moves to get a first down. The strength in his legs, just keep giving him the ball until he gets tired.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. He wears down the defense. He has his biggest gains in the second half. First down across the 45. 2:42 left in the third. Stewart. Caught. Charles Johnson, his first catch of the day. Darian Gordon on the coverage. Mobley helped out on the tackle. Well, it appears that Crockett is staying with Thigpen. Is that what's happening?
That's right, Dick. Ray Crockett is covering Yancey Thigpen today, so that puts Darian Gordon on the other side, or following Charles Johnson. This time, good throw by Cordell Stewart. Puts it into the body of the receiver, even though it was good coverage by Darian Gordon.
Watch Darian Gordon's left hand. He gets it in there right where the ball is. This is a super catch.
But the receiver kept going back towards the quarterback. That's why he made the catch.
12 yards on the play. The Colorado connection. They were teammates with the Buffaloes. Throw underneath to Tim Lester, and the blocking fullback gets about 7, maybe 8 before Tanavasa and Aldridge can collaborate on the tackle. Stewart, first half of the seasons this year. Look at 47%, second half 60%. 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and a rating over 101 compared to those numbers in the first half. No question, as the game wears on, this young man has been a better player, and that's what the Steelers and their fans need now. Down by 10. Final minute and a half of the third quarter. Second down. Bettis allowing for a first down at the 31.
Remember what Bill Cowher told us yesterday? Making adjustments. Being able to make an adjustment. When you win at halftime, what isn't working in the first half, throw that out. Make adjustments of things that you have to do in the second half. And that's what this team does.
Neil Smith has returned to the lineup, number 90 for the Denver Broncos. Less than a minute remaining now in the third. Bettis at 97 yards for the game. And 49 of those yards coming after his first hit. Fake to Bettis. The roll by Stewart. Chased. Smith can't get him, and finally bumped out of bounds. Little yardage. Ray Crockett coming up from the corner. 33 seconds left in the quarter.
Neil Smith, I mean, coming back, he has an ankle injury, but comes back. You know, this fake worked in the first half. Now here goes Neil Smith. He fakes, sees the inside, he sees Cordell Stewart come out. Look at the speed of Neil Smith. Not bad for the big guy.
And the long arms of the law. Neil has a wing spread of 7 feet and an inch. Usually your wing spread the same as your height. He's 6'4", but 7'1", and even Strelzik was talking about the fact that those long arms really make it tough on the blocker. That's ruled a sack, by the way. 2nd and 11 for Stewart with 3 seconds left in the quarter. Eludes the rush. And then the second hit, a fumble, and recovering is number 97, Mike Lodish of the Denver Broncos. And at the end of the third quarter, the turnover as Stewart, plagued with 2 interceptions in this half, and now a fumble. Didn't see the blindside hit from Neil Smith.
When you're a quarterback and you move around, you know when your time is up as a thrower. Cordell Stewart, it's covered. Now when you make those second moves, you've got to protect the football. A fast defense. They keep hustling. They make the play.
We'll start the fourth quarter. Denver's ball with a 10-point lead.
Was trying to do at that time. Bill Cowher seen a lot of mistakes today made by his quarterback.
Denver takes over at its 41-yard line. Elway. He throws to the sideline over McCaffrey. Cordell Stewart now with 3 interceptions and a fumble. 2 of the interceptions in the end zone.
That's right, Dick. Trying to force the action. The receivers are covered. This one, you don't blame him. It's just a Hail Mary at the end of the first half. This one, just too late with the football. And then probably the biggest so far, trying to make something happen when it's not there in the middle of the field against a defense they can run like the Denver Broncos.
Fourth and will it be the final period for one of these teams, the winner to the Super Bowl? 2nd and 10, Elway. Davis breaking a tackle to the 45-yard line. A gain of a long 4. Joel Steed wrapped him up.
Doesn't Nolan, if you're on the other side of the line of scrimmage like Nolan Harrison, number 74, aren't you offside? I would think you're offside. Watch number 74, Nolan Harrison. Is this offside? Watch it. Look at his arm. His arm's inside. I mean, you can't see that looking down the line.
Harrison out, extra defensive back in. Orpheus Roy also young pass rusher in. Elway shotgun. Crowd trying to help as much as it can. Oh, what a catch in the open field by Rod Smith, and a first down at the 35-yard line. Smith, who has a reputation of making the brilliant catch, and it's the one that's perfectly thrown that he has trouble handling, as he showed 5 weeks ago.
Blitz by the Pittsburgh defense. Shannon Sharp, the tight end, in the backfield. The blitzer comes free. J.B. Brown does a good job of picking him up, enables John Elway to go down. Again, we've said it a couple times today. When you blitz, man coverage on the outside, the middle of the field is wide open. Rod Smith reaching back, using those hands, making a good catch.
20 yards on the play. He has 6 catches for 87 yards. Davis breaking tackles. Battles inside the 30-yard line, a gain of at least 6 before LaVon Kirkland can make the tackle.
The one thing last week, we saw the Denver Broncos, what a good job they did picking up the blitz against the Kansas City Chiefs. Today, how many times have we seen them just pick it up? Not only they pick it up, they enable John Elway to stand there for that extra second and make the throw down the field.
John Elway, as he tucks his head in the huddle, can look at the clock. 13 minutes separate Elway and the Broncos from a Super Bowl opportunity for this 37-year-old warhorse. Can the Steelers stop him? Davis, no gain, wrapped up a Kevin Henry, the defensive end.
You know, Dick, you go back to that catch, Phil, of Rod Smith, and we were here, what, some 5 weeks ago, when they couldn't buy a catch. I mean, I'm talking about balls that were hitting them in the stomach, hitting them in the hands. They're dropping everything. Now, today, these guys are picking up everything.
Well, you think they hear much about it? If
I don't think so.
This week, that's all we've talked about in the opening, the pregame, how they couldn't catch the ball. But today they've been excellent catching the ball in tight places.
Rod Smith, a former quarterback, Missouri Southern. They switched him to wide receiver, and a free agent pick a couple of years ago, becoming a star receiver. Denver 7 of 10 on 3rd down. Not this time, as a sea of black inundates Elway. His 2nd sack, and it's Kirkland there first.
Now, you know Pittsburgh's going to put pressure on Denver here for one big reason. They want to make sure to get to the quarterback, don't let him gain any yards. LaVon Kirkland on the blitz, comes around, uses his speed, and makes the sack. But don't give up any more points. Try to sack John Elway, get him out of field goal range.
And I'll tell you, Tom Ruin right now, I watched him before the game kicking the ball into the wind, like the 10-yard punt before. Kick the ball out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Just kick it.
Courtney Hawkins back at the 10. Ruin to punt as that sack took them out of field goal range. Ruin, high wobbler. Hawkins lets it drop, so Darius Johnson catches it for him at the 11-yard line. Timeout. 11 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. You're watching the AFC Champion. Crockett on the sidelines, appears to be okay. Has an interception as well and a sack. 2nd and 5. Big Ten. Hit immediately by Darius Johnson, who's in for Crockett, so they immediately go after the replacement of Crockett, and it's a first down.
There is no sense of urgency, but you're getting close to what, 10 minutes to go in this ball game. You got to move it along a little quicker.
24-14, and Steelers going into what win there is at Three Rivers today. into Stewart's face. That didn't bother Jerome Bettis. A lot of white jerseys do. Alan Aldridge and Harold Hasselbach leading that charge. Now Cordell Stewart has joined the company of John Elway, Dan Marino, Ty Detmer, Eric Kramer, Jeff Kemp, Mark Malone, Cliff Stout, all first-year quarterbacks to take their team into the playoffs. But none of those names took their team to the Super Bowl. No first-year quarterback has ever gone all the way to the big one. Stewart trying to accomplish that. 2nd and 7. Oh, almost intercepted by Darian Gordon, and Gordon had his sights set on 6.
Darian Gordon inside. All he's doing, he is just watching Cordell Stewart. He looks at the receiver the whole time. He makes the break on the football as Cordell's letting it go. If he'd have decided just a little bit earlier, it's an interception for a touchdown.
Gordon, who was a high school state champion wrestler back in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
He got beat here the last time they played like a drum. Yancey Thigpen 3 touchdowns on that young man right there.
Cordell Stewart 5 touchdowns the first game against Denver. Nearly 5 turnovers today against Denver. 3rd down throw. Is it a catch? No, he trapped it. Courtney Hawkins down low. But it took one hop and the official right there to wave it off.
Well, the official is there, and this ball is thrown low, and it's thrown to the outside. The one place you really want to throw the ball, but you look at it, it goes right through his arms. It's on the ground. It's an excellent call. The official was in a perfect position to do it.
Stewart wanted the catch, but incomplete. 9 minutes and 28 seconds, and the Steelers will have to give up the ball.
Cordell Stewart knows, get that first down, get some rhythm with the offense, get moving, and he'd have a chance to make some plays, and but didn't connect on the 3rd down, stops him.
Gordon back. He averaged 13.5 per return. He won't have a chance in this one. Short kicks, lateral bounce. That's that love-hate relationship. Cowher and his punter. A short 34-yarder to the Denver 40.
Dharma and Greg, a contrast in lifestyles.
I can sleep easy tonight.
She's hip. He's not.
I certainly didn't expect this exposure.
With the in-laws to match.
You're gonna do a background check with my parents?
Not unless I cut my hair and finish college.
Where's the potato masher? Oh, I told you, I gave her the day off.
Together,
It's probably for the best.
they are Dharma and Greg, Tuesday at 8:30.
More boats, more show, more fun. Canada's biggest marine shopping spree. The Toronto Boat Show. Come and see over 8 football fields of fun at the all-new National Trade Center, all under one roof. With more than 1,500 boats, everything sailing, fishing, canoes, and cruisers. Plus, Jeep presents Lake Wow. The entire Coliseum floor's been flooded with 1 million gallons of water, 5 feet deep for live-action demos and more. More boats, more show, more fun. It starts Saturday. The Toronto Boat Show. January 17th to 25th, Exhibition Place.
Man, just let me finish my Mars bar. Take your time. Time's up.
We're in Business takes an informative look at entrepreneurs across Canada. Saturday, 5 Eastern Time on Prime, Canada's Superstation.
Back in Pittsburgh with a reminder tonight on Dateline interview exclusive with Detroit Lions Reggie Brown. We prayed that he was alive when we did that game in Detroit, along with the players themselves, both huddles, and then prayed that he'd walk, and he appears to be recovering. It's a courageous story. That's on Dateline tonight.
I don't remember being that scared watching a ball game.
Elway on 1st down from his 40, overthrows the wide open Shannon Sharp.
This is the chance the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take. They're going to come after John Elway when he throws the ball. But what could happen is it's going to give them, the Denver offense, a chance to make that big play. And that time, Shannon Sharp down the field uncovered.
This was that throw there was Elway's fault. John knew he had him open.
Well, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of. Yeah, it really a little traffic jam down there, isn't there?
throwing with the wind here in the fourth quarter. Cuts it inside and to the 42, the 43-yard line. A gain of 3. Earl Holmes made the stop. Mike Shanahan, wherever he's been around winners. And look at that. In 14 years, 8 times he has played in the NFC or AFC Championship game as a head coach or assistant. That's his son Kyle behind him. Kyle's on a winning streak. When he's gone to the games with his dad, they're 20-0. He wasn't around for Jacksonville in the playoffs a year ago. Shanahan said, Kyle, you have no choice. Even if I have to take you out of school Friday, you're coming with us. 3rd and 8 Elway. Hit as he throws, incomplete. Chris Oldham, a cornerback, extra back on 3rd and 8, comes in on the blitz.
Well, Pittsburgh's got to make something happen. You know they're going to blitz. Coming from the outside, takes Chris Oldham a little too long. Pittsburgh's lucky somebody didn't come open down the field for John Elway to throw it to.
There was nobody open downfield, Phil. He had no one. Terrell Davis is the guy that really missed the block.
So Ruin will punt, and the Broncos did not consume much time on that possession, only about 2 minutes. Ruin very high and also very short. Fair catch at the 31 by Courtney Hawkins. The Steelers trail by 10. Good field position.
Over 30% of
here, a comeback win. The Super Bowl invitation awaits. 24-14 with 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go, and Stewart sets up shop at his own 31. Down the middle, Bruner the tight end, and it might have been deflected by a linebacker, Aldridge or Mobley.
The Denver offense, the Pittsburgh offense, you've got to be patient. Denver's ahead. You know they're going to be a little conservative on defense. They want you to have to make a bunch of plays to go down the field and get a chance to score.
Championship game records in the AFC. The largest comeback wins. San Diego here 3 years ago broke the hearts of the Steeler fans, and 7 points accomplished several times. So 10-point deficit is a big one based on history in this game. 2nd and 10. Stewart chased by Smith. They lose. Traylor misses him, but gets enough to drop him at the 30, and that'll be a loss of 1 yard and a sack for Traylor.
Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about 2 guys moving. Neil Smith, number 90, number 1. Watch this. He really gets by Bruner, and he's got a clear shot at Cordell Stewart. But when at the end of this, Keith Traylor, I mean, the speed that he showed getting to Cordell Stewart, he only gets an arm on him. Watch, look at the speed. Look at, if he's going to the out-of-bounds line, Traylor had him.
That's the 3rd sack by the Broncos. Pittsburgh, only 20 sacks all year. That was best in the league. So they've kept pressure on Stewart with those blitzes and individual effort. 3rd and 11. 8 men. Stewart has to throw it up for grabs, and it's batted away. Ray Crockett over the top of Yancey Thigpen.
The reason the defense, why they bring them all that time, they take the chance to get to the quarterback. They know Pittsburgh can't pick them all up. It's 3rd and 10. The offense has to get rid of the ball quicker than they want to. They have to throw it shorter. Look at all the people coming on the blitz.
Watch 27 Atwater. You want to see a guy go down in a heartbeat? Watch Atwater. Someone reaches up, boink, just throws that kid with a shot, just knocked him down.
And that's the new thing in this NFL. 3rd and long, defenses now blitz. They don't play a safe defense and try to make you throw it short. They blitz you, they make you throw it short.
Midway through the 4th. Miller's left-footed punt, and how quiet this Three Rivers partisan crowd has become. Gordon takes no chances, and it's down by Oldham at the 29. Cordell Stewart checking the clock. Will there be time enough for Pittsburgh to score at least 10?
Closed captioning of NFL football is brought to you by Valvoline Canada. Valvoline is tested on the track for superior performance in your vehicle. People who know use Valvoline.
Okay, quiet on the set, please.
All right, a little to the left. No, camera left. Good. Okay, just a little more. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, let's do it.
Roll camera. Mark it.
McDonald's bacon double cheeseburger, take 16.
Where's the burger? Not again. Where is the...
Right now, get a bacon double cheeseburger for only 89 cents when you buy any drink and fries at McDonald's.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
At 89 cents, they're moving quick.
21, Black John.
It's Jack.
You're a good man, Jack. Buy yourself something frilly.
Super Bowl contest during the next NFL playoff game on Global. You could win a Dodge Ram Quad Cab. Look for contest cards and cases of Bud.
With our producer Tommy Roy, director John Gonzalez, Dick Enberg with Phil Simms, Paul McGuire, John Dockery, Jim Gray, Three Rivers Stadium. Back and forth early in the game, and then John Elway with 2 touchdown passes in the final 2 minutes of the first half. No score in the second half. Denver leads 24-14. First down, and it's Terrell Davis drawing a crowd after a gain of a couple. Earl Holmes and Dante Jones in on the tackle. John Elway at 37 years of age in his 15th year in the league. He got to the Super Bowl 3 times as a youngster. It's been a long wait, and here in the twilight of a great Hall of Fame career, Elway is within 7 minutes now from a 4th chance at that Super Bowl ring that would be the final stamp on a career that said how great this man has been. Steelers have different ideas. They want to get the ball back for Cordell Stewart, who's had a rough day. Davis breaks a tackle of Dante Jones, gains a couple to the 35. It'll be 3rd down and 5. 6.5 minutes remain.
You know, Dick, we were talking to John Elway yesterday, and with John Kuhn, he said, you know, all these guys are saying, well, we got to get to the Super Bowl for John Elway. I said, you don't think the other 52 guys want to go to?
Yeah.
John says, I know. I'm getting sick of hearing this. We're going to get it for John Elway. Why don't we get it for the Denver Broncos? The people in Denver deserve another shot at the Super Bowl.
Well, Romanowski in the defense saying just keep that ball, chew up the clock. 120 yards now for Terrell Davis. He had only 75 in the regular season, and his longest run was 7 yards. Griffith, that was a combination that worked for a touchdown, not this time, and that stops the clock with 5:53 left, and Pittsburgh will get the ball back.
Well, the Denver Broncos, they know just 1 first down really makes a difference in eating up this clock. They could take it down to 3 or inside of 3 minutes if they just get 1 first down. Howard Griffith open in the flat. John Elway has to turn and throw to his left. Tough throw for quarterback again. Throws behind him.
Last 3 punts by Ruin, 11, 25, and 28 yards. Will Blackwell doesn't know quite where to camp. He's back at the 25. And Ruin hits another dying spiral that takes a bounce for Denver down to around the 20-yard line. 10-point lead, 5:43 to left. And on NBC tonight,
our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes.
Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, the motion picture blockbuster at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Go get him.
After a special 90-minute Dateline, The Fugitive, NBC tonight.
Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, former footballer at Harvard, and won an Academy Award for his portrayal. Tonight, The Fugitive on NBC.
Ray Crockett is back, Dick.
At that left corner. 1st and 10 Steelers. Blitz from Gordon. Stewart straight arms him away. Scrambles, stops, throws, and completes. Will Blackwell, 1st down at the 38, his first catch today. Tyrone Braxton the stop.
Well, Denver trying to win the game here on the first couple plays. They're blitzing. Look, I never thought they'd blitz anymore. I thought they'd play it safe. Cordell Stewart shakes off the sack, comes outside, creates some time for himself, makes a good throw here for the pickup of the 1st down.
16 yards on the play, 5:15 remaining. Over the middle, incomplete. Charles Johnson covered by Darius Johnson, not related.
Charles Johnson just coming in. Looks like he wasn't relaxed enough to catch the ball. Johnson is on him. Look at this. I mean, it just looks like a little bit too relaxed. You've got to concentrate on that ball. Every single yard is so important. When you're in 5 minutes and 9 seconds, the only good thing about that play was incomplete and stopped the clock.
5:09 left. Cordell now 12 for 30. 149 yards. Another blitz. And the quick pass works. And Courtney Hawkins close to a first down before Alfred Williams can make the tackle.
Well, Cordell Stewart, I can notice he's having a hard time getting into rhythm, throwing this football, not having much success. So what do? Call a play you know he can complete. Denver's defense blitzing. Good call, the screenplay.
Alfred Williams now slow getting up, so time is called with 4:48 left. And now with the clock showing less than 5, any play out of bounds, a runner out of bounds will stop the clock. Steelers need to score and then get the ball back for another.
Alfred Williams, what a great play he makes. Now he's on the line of scrimmage. Now he comes all the way back and chases down the ball, the receiver Hawkins, and he looks like he just landed on his knee.
They've got 9 tackles and a sack and a forced fumble between them, the two ends, and Tanavasa didn't play last time. He has a couple of tackles.
You know, so much has changed in this league the last few years. One of them, we just saw Alfred Williams, a defensive lineman, running across the field to make a tackle.
On third down and short, straight ahead for the first down goes Cordell Stewart. Only the second time he's run the ball. The other time he ran all the way for a touchdown, 33 yards. Crowd starting to get nervous. Hurry up, they're saying, as the clock ticks down under 4:20. Williams is back in the lineup for Denver. Stewart gonna run it. And ducks out of bounds with a first down at the 42. Clock stop, 4:07.
Fred McAfee came back to make a block on Keith Traylor, and Keith Traylor almost killed him. He just deliberately tried to run over him. I mean, McAfee, I really like him now. McAfee, that is just a lot of guts what he did.
Paul, Keith Traylor, number 94. He's an ex-linebacker. He weighs over 300 pounds.
Watch the guy on the right here. Look at this. Oh, hello.
Yeah, they got the job done.
Yes, he did.
McAfee thought he was going to catch him by surprise. Not today.
Stewart out of bounds. They mark it at the 43, so it's 2nd and 1.
Good.
Cordell. Tough catch. Made by Blackwell. Second round pick out of San Diego State. It's enough for a first down, but more importantly is the clock. 3:55 and ticking. All 3 timeouts remain for the Steelers. And that deep defense for Denver now loosening up considerably. Stewart to the sidelines now. Charles Johnson, first down. No, close to it. 32 they'll mark it as Darian Gordon made the tackle. Clock stopped.
Well, the conservative defense, that is a really good approach right now for Denver on defense. But the one thing you really don't want them to do, if you're going to do that, don't let them catch the ball and then get out of bounds for 8 and 10 yards.
Well, that is a great point, because we saw that happen in the Denver-Kansas City game. When Kansas City got the ball down, they just let them catch the ball, get out of bounds, and they kicked a 54-yard field goal to beat Denver.
4 wide receivers. Stewart in the shotgun. Kick now. Doesn't get out of bounds. Does have the first down at the 23. Gordon made the tackle. Will Cowher sneaks a peek at that electronic monster chewing up his hopes. Over the middle. Hawkins to the 15-yard line. Push back. And the clock moving toward the 3-minute mark. The native of Pittsburgh, his home dad, you saw him early, still lives in the same place where he was raised, only 13 minutes from this stadium. He's all of Pittsburgh. Stewart. Lots of time. Somebody might be open. It's Johnson. Charles Johnson. Touchdown.
Cordell really showed some experience there. What he learned earlier. Nobody's open down the field. He didn't take a chance. He didn't force it. He moves around. Somebody opens up down the field, finds him, and makes a terrific throw into the corner of the end zone.
He actually told Charles Johnson, just keep coming. You saw his hand wave. Just keep coming across. I'll get it to you.
Now the try for point by Norm Johnson. And it is a 3-point game. 24-21.
This is what I'm talking about. Look at Cordell. Once he sees Johnson, you watch him tell him, now keep coming. Just come on across. I'm going to throw the ball to the outside. You go get it. Thank you.
You know, but Cordell does a good job. It's hard for a quarterback to be moving to his right and throw a ball like that. Good job by him getting in balance.
2 minutes, 46 seconds remain.
You've never seen anything like it, and it's headed for Canadian Tire.
More selection. More parts for more makes and models of cars and light trucks. More quality brand names like Certified Brakes, Monroe Shocks, and TRW suspension parts. So now, you'll get the right parts when you need them at guaranteed low prices. Canadian Tire, Canada's auto parts store, made better.
14-yard touchdown pass. Teammates at the University of Colorado a few years ago. Cordell Stewart to Charles Johnson. And the Denver Broncos lead, carved to 3, 24-21. Denver looks for the onside kick that will be accommodated as Norm Johnson, the veteran, tees it up, aiming to his right. And now they shift.
They're going to kick it regular. I didn't think they were because they have 3 timeouts. Now they got the hands-up team, so they're up on a line of scrimmage. They're going to kick the ball deep and pin Denver deep into territory.
Johnson to Hebron, is going to let it bounce. Now has to take it at the 1. It worked beautifully, and he's tackled at the 10.
This is such a good play because what they did is they forced Denver to bring their hands team on, which that means are all receivers, defensive back, all the small people, Dick, and then they keep them there. And then what they do now, so Denver can't get their people back off the field. Here comes the kick. Hebron thought the ball was going to go into the end zone. It hit and bounced straight up in the air. He had to return it.
That's right. He couldn't take a chance because it could have stayed on the 1-yard line, Paul. He had to take it and return it and gets it to the 10-yard line.
Last 2 possessions, Denver 3 and out. 2:38 remains. Elway to McCaffrey. The play that worked for a touchdown late in the first half. And McCaffrey appears to be injured as he's tackled at the 17. Stop the clock anyway on the completion, and the
Ed McCaffrey looks like when he gets hit, he just gets twisted. Elway makes the half throw, makes a good throw. Ed McCaffrey turns it upfield trying to get those good yards. Tackled high.
Myron Bell, the hitter.
McCaffrey goes down on his knees, Phil. What he's trying to do is stay in bounds. You talk about heads up. Look at, he's trying to keep himself in bounds. So he sacrificed his entire body just to keep himself, keep that clock going.
Actually,
he was down.
He was in bounds. Both knees on the ground, sliding.
But the officials ruled that he was out of the field of play, and the clock stopped.
Wait a minute. No, they're working on that clock is going to start again, Dick. Because the official on the field wound up the clock. It is in bounds.
And Elway's gone to the sidelines here, so he figures they'll wind it up, and either the Steelers will use one of their timeouts, or he'll just let it run down to the 2-minute warning.
This clock is going to start.
Well, Elway now back into the huddle. Left knee and mouth bloodied by Ed McCaffrey as he took that hit from Mo Bell.
But the problem is, even though the clock started, Paul, it goes down to 25 seconds instead of 40. Now Denver is forced to run one play before the 2-minute warning.
8, 7, 6 on the play clock. Elway will use as much time as he can, and then gives to Terrell Davis. And Davis is hit by Earl Holmes at the 2-minute warning. 3rd down for Denver. 2 minutes to play. A 3-point game. Cisco. And, of course, the man that they'll all be chronicling, the headliner, John Elway, one kneel down away from his 4th Super Bowl trip. And that'll do it as the Denver Broncos, the Wild Cards, have won 3 in a row on the road. And Mike Shanahan's team goes to San Diego, the AFC champions. You saw His son Kyle, now 21-0.
He's going to the Super Bowl.
I think Kyle will get a free trip. Give him a suite.
Thanks, Jim.
And with elation on one side, so tough to digest the defeat after a long, wonderful season. Get the home field advantage in the championship game, but for the second time in 4 years, the Steelers lose at home, a game away from the Super Bowl. And John Elway certainly has earned the chance. He played like a star today, didn't he?
Well, the whole team did for the Denver Broncos. They came in, they played to win on both sides of the ball. They tried to force the action. Their defense early did a terrific job. Tyrone Braxton said to us yesterday, and I thought about this a lot today, he said if we can get them to throw the ball, we can force them into mistakes. They did. They took advantage of them. Of course, the Denver's offense always goes after it.
Bill Cowher, the Pittsburgh native, with that disappointing trip into the locker room. Broncos revenge tour. They got Jacksonville. Last week, Kansas City. And another team that tormented them this year, Bill Cowher's Pittsburgh Steelers. The final score, 24-21. Denver the winner. The trophy presentation. Don Shula celebrating the 25th anniversary of that unbeaten Miami Super Bowl champion team will present the Lamar Hunt Trophy. Don't go away. We'll be back in Pittsburgh in a moment.
First National is Peter Kent, an award-winning journalist,
Never flooded.
with the day's first comprehensive report of national and international news.
We aren't holding anything back for a more important newscast later in the day.
Beyond the headlines, it's investigative reports, medical breakthroughs, and watching your wallet with Consumer Smart. A consumer crime that's controlled by Canada and your world. First, weeknights at 6:30. First National with Peter Kent. Controversy.
How would you handle true love between your son, who's 13, and his teacher?
Opinion.
You can't have rules just for one teacher and one student.
Discussion.
What force would you use against a burglar? Would you kill him?
I have an alarm, I have bars on the windows, it's like living in Fort Knox. I hate it.
Humor.
How come you're not in movies anymore?
Because I'm dead, honey.
Grumps, weeknights following 60 Minutes More on Prime, Canada's Superstation.
While 60,000 partisans head home, certainly deep in disappointment, there's a handful of Denver Broncos continuing their celebration 24-21. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Some very happy Denver Broncos. Neil Smith, Alfred Williams, and let's start with you, John Elway. This game here today, it seemed as though it was quite a struggle. No points in the second half, 24-14. Took a while to get on track. How would you describe this game?
Well, I tell you what, it was awful loud when we started. We started slow, but we were able to make some big plays there in the second quarter and get ahead. And after that, man, the defense just took over. They kept stopping them, and we struggled a little bit offensively, but the defense just hung in there. And then when they did get it down there and get it close, we got the first downs when we needed them. So it was a big team win.
Are you thinking at all, hey, we have several chances here with 9 minutes and we go 3 and out 2 or 3 times? You're starting to think, uh-oh, this could slip away?
Well, yeah, it was definitely scary at that time, but I think that we knew that all we had to do is if we could just put one in, get one score in there, that we could put the dagger in the heart, but we couldn't do it. They kept fighting, and you got to give them a lot of credit. They never gave up, and it made it awful tough.
Bob Mueller. Studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill, both of whom are in attendance.
Most of the people that you talked about were in attendance today. Like you say, those are the two things that happen: intensity and that.
Pass to Freeman from far, a strike.
Third down, needed that for a first down to keep this clock going. And does Brett Favre throw a strike in there?
Does he ever? The 49ers await the winner of this contest at Lambeau.
And the 49ers are waiting now. I told you I talked to Steve Mariucci, the 49er coach, at halftime, and they were going over yesterday's game film, and they're going to meet with their players. Their players are meeting today when this game's over.
And you'll be headed via bus for San Francisco for home.
The en route, Highway 80.
11. burrows underneath for maybe a yard. We're all headed for San Francisco by different means of transportation. The playoff picture: Tampa Bay advanced with that victory over Detroit. Looks like Green Bay is going to advance. Minnesota lost to San Francisco, meaning that one more time no team that plays in a dome has ever made it.
Yeah, that's the thing. No team that's ever played in a dome, like you said, has never won the Super Bowl, and as you said, no team that plays in a dome has ever made it to a Super Bowl.
Levens again, heads outside, tripped up by Derek Brooks.
You know, and
the Buccaneers, excuse me.
The other thing, you know, we talk about the urgency and the finality here. There are 12 teams that go into the playoffs. And of those 12 teams, only one team is going to win their last game. Yep. And 11 others have to live with it for the entire offseason until August. And that is tough. I mean, you know, getting there is big. Playing in these games is big and great. But I tell you, there is no losing that is tougher than losing a playoff game and that being your final game.
3rd and long. 3rd and 13. They're 5 out of 12 on 3rd down. Favre drops. Buccaneers blitz. And the pass is picked off by Donnie Abraham. That's his 2nd of the day interception.
Yeah, there's a guy that's really played well for the Buccaneers these last couple of weeks. He played well last week against Detroit, and he's playing well today. You see the rush here again. Hardy Nickerson is just there where Brett Favre can't step up and throw and get everything on it to Robert Brooks. But Donnie Abraham had great coverage.
Over 30% of Canadians are in underachieving mutual funds. So how can you tell the leaders from the followers? The Scotia Leaders Program. It's a portfolio of 5 leading mutual funds from companies like Trimark, Templeton, and AGF.
Hello. Hi. You, got some mail.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's my quarterly report.
Oh, really? You gonna open that, or?
Let's get dinner. The kids will be here in a half hour.
They're constantly monitored. Underachievers are replaced, so you always know you're in the leading funds.
Yeah, I told you got mail, right?
Yes.
You know what? You could open this, like, right now. It's already started. Look at that.
Honey,
look.
The Scotia Leaders Program. Find out if it's right for you. Call 1-800-528-3211.
Yeah, are you gonna open it, or?
So you've been watching the free preview of the new cable package, exploring new boundaries with Space, the Imagination Station. And still had time for a little golf with the Golf Channel. While enjoying some Superstation entertainment on TBS. Just 3 of the many channels in the new cable package. The free preview ends soon. To order, call 1-888-591-1997. You could win great prizes, so turn on, tune in, and enjoy.
Pat Summerall with John Madden back at Lambeau Field, where the Packers lead the Bucs 21-7. Buccaneers have the ball at their own 20 after the interception by Abraham, his 2nd of the day. Dilfer back to throw it. Outside to Dunn. Warwick Dunn gets the 1st down for Tampa Bay.
Fritz Shermer continues to mix up these defenses. You know, he's playing that 3-man line. He calls it his 3-3 dime. 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs.
2 deep this time as they blitz Dilfer. He just does get rid of it, but he does. And the pass is caught by Copeland, but he got out of bounds.
Yeah, again, that was Keith McKenzie coming from the backside along with Leroy Butler. He had the whole thing coming from back there.
I haven't quite yet figured out when he wants to be called Leroy and when he wants to be Leroy.
I don't know. He says he wants to be called Leroy, but then sometimes he calls himself Leroy.
Himself, yeah.
Remember we said Brad Johnson when he's doing the Minnesota game? He says, tell Brad Johnson that Leroy says hello. I said, I thought you were Leroy. He said, well, to Brad Johnson, I'm Leroy.
He won't allow it. Here's Dilfer. Steps up in the pocket, brings it down, fires. Warwick Dunn gets into Green Bay territory. Dilfer did a good job scrambling away from the pressure.
Yeah, usually when Warwick Dunn comes out of the backfield, they have a safety on him. And Eugene Robinson has been doing a pretty good job. He did a real good job earlier in the game on Warwick Dunn. That time he was on there, and Dilfer just made a good throw in there to him.
Trent Dilfer hurrying things up now with 4:50 left. And Green Bay leading Tampa Bay by 21-7. First down. Quick slant goes to Rob Thomas, who stays on his feet. Anthony was waiting for a lateral, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not that point. We're still
No.
with 4:27 left. You're down 2 touchdowns. They're going to hurry up offense, but they have to think they need a touchdown, then they need an onside kick, and then another touchdown.
That's a lot of needs. Dilfer's incomplete, intended for Anthony.
Rob Thomas has come up with some big plays for this Buccaneer team, and I was talking to him yesterday about his dad, Aaron Thomas.
Yep.
Played for the New York Giants. In fact, his dad came to the Giants a year after you left and took your number, didn't he?
Well, he wore the same number.
Well, no, but he was number 8. You were number 88.
Yes.
And 61 for the Giants.
Right.
And he said his dad came in 62, Aaron Thomas, and he was number 88 for the Giants.
Correct. That is correct. The only thing, he could move it a little bit faster than I could. Dilfer got a man. It's Rob Thomas. The ball goes out of bounds.
They feel confident in Rob Thomas, especially, with Copeland and with Anthony. They kind of like to keep them outside as split receivers, and then when they need a third or fourth wide receiver, when they need a slot guy, they like to put Rob Thomas and have him be their slot guy.
Amazing how much he looks like his father. Dilfer 9 out of 30, 1 interception, 174 yards.
His father was bigger than him, wasn't he?
Yes, taller. Third and 10. The protection starts to break, and Dilfer is going down by McKenzie, and McKenzie has put some pressure on.
The first guy there was Seth Joyner.
Yeah, he had an assist.
We talk about that 3-3 that they're in. Here's the 3-man line, and then now Joyner becomes a fourth guy, and he becomes a rush guy. And he was the first guy that gets here. And sometimes he rushes from the inside. That time he was outside, but took an inside rush. He was the first guy. See, he's the guy that made Trent Dilfer take the ball down.
And he couldn't get rid of it.
And
so
Keith McKenzie came in and finished him off.
4th down and 25. And the Packers rush just 3, and Dilfer's throwing it up for grabs into the end zone. All incomplete. I don't think anybody came down with it, and the Packers should take over. Horace Copeland down there, high C in the middle of that.
Gene Robinson still down there in the end zone. He's talking with the fans down there. When I went to practice the other day, I had never seen a player so fired up as Eugene Robinson was in practice.
He's been around a long time.
I know. Well, he's one of those guys who's been playing for 13 years, played for years at Seattle, and got a taste of winning a championship and a Super Bowl a year ago, and doesn't know how many years he's going to play, but he wants to taste it again.
The way he's playing, he can play for a long time. Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, I think, that's just the frustration. It's been that kind of day for Trent Dilfer. He wasn't able to get into any kind of passing groove at all. And, if you say in what area the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to improve, I think it's that area. The passing game, getting receivers, getting open, catching the ball, hitting them, those things.
Dorsey 11.
Dorsey 11.
for about 5.
Dorsey Levens this year has just become a machine, hasn't
He really has.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought, you know, they thought that he was kind of a backup guy and a receiver and those kinds of things.
Wasn't durable enough, maybe?
Well, they didn't know. And Mike
Yeah.
Holmgren said, I said, has Dorsey Levens really surprised you? And he said, yeah, he surprised me how durable he is.
This is a Tampa Bay timeout. Isn't Dorsey Levens going to be a free agent?
Yes, he is a free agent. I mean, yes, he will be a free agent at the end of this season. That's something there. Like you look like you had a puncture wound there.
Like you just had a vaccination. You used to have like when you were in grammar school.
Yeah, like you're running, and someone punctures you.
23 carries, 112 yards. And he is already, as he broke Jim Taylor's regular season game rushing record back against Dallas. Levens' total today is a new Packer playoff rushing record, which had been held by Edgar Bennett. So, yes.
Warwick Dunn there in his rookie year, offensive rookie of the year.
Outstanding. Levens.
Well, what Dorsey Levens is doing now, you know, he's afraid to make one of those outside cuts because he doesn't want to go out of bounds to stop the clock. He wants to stay in bounds and make the Buccaneers use their timeouts, but not give them a free one by running out of bounds.
Next week we'll be in San Francisco and watch Steve Young dance.
Look at his eyes, how serious he is. Steve Young takes everything so seriously. He's even trying to have fun with the dance.
Look at Brent Jones laughing at what's going on behind me.
Oh, but did you see how sincere Steve Young was?
Yeah.
Look at, boy, I got to get this down.
Postseason history between those two is Green Bay 27, 49ers 17. That was a big upset. And last year 35-14.
You know, so they know about the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, Steve Mariucci, now the head coach of the 49ers, was an assistant here with these Packers, and he was Brett Favre's quarterback coach.
For 4 years. Here's Levens again. And stop at midfield. That'll bring up 4th down, and the Packers will punt it away. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, has 1 timeout left. Warren Sapp, he's had a heck of a day.
You know what he said? He was saying the other day, he said, isn't this something? He said you get to play a kid's game and get paid a king's ransom. He said you can't beat that.
Yeah. New York Undercover is back. It's an all-new team taking on cases cops won't handle. In a world this dangerous, one mistake can get you killed. Catch the season premiere of New York Undercover Thursday at 9, 8 Central on Fox. You may have to watch that. Don't want to make any mistakes.
Clock is running.
Greg Hendrick back to punt to Riddell Anthony.
Anthony in the deep position.
2:58 left to play, and here's Greg Hendrick. Anthony is getting away from it. And the Packers are going to down it. Travis Jervey was the first man down who batted it backwards. The architect, along with Mike Holmgren, of the Packers' success story, the executive vice president and general manager Ron Wolf, an old buddy of yours.
Well, yeah, I was with Ron Wolf for 12 years with the Oakland Raiders, and he's one of the top people in this game. He's one of the top people that I've ever known. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, and he knows how to put a team together, and he knows talent. And, of course, getting this guy. I mean, Ron Wolf came here and got Brett Favre. That was a big move.
That's a pretty good milestone right there.
You know, when you take the difference in these games or in these teams, you know, Brett Favre is so big in that thing. I mean, he's the MVP of the league. Of course, co-MVP this year, but 3 years in a row.
What a building block. Dilfer out of the end zone to Copeland.
You know, we looked at Travis Jervey the last time or the time before when he was double teamed. Now you watch him here, and again, he made the Pro Bowl. Now, if you don't leave anyone on him, you see the difference? They were going for the block that time. So if you have 2 guys on him, he's not going to get down there. If you don't put anyone on him, he's one of the fastest guys on this team. He'll be the first guy down there.
Dilfer back. 3-man rush. Pass dropped by Copeland.
I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have just been frustrated today. You know that they could have gotten a little running going, but they just couldn't get any passing going. I mean, they didn't have anything that was there. I mean, they hit their tight end Dave Moore a few times in the middle, but other than that, they haven't gotten anything that they've really been able to do today.
Well, you go back to all those statistics that we showed you at the beginning of the game. This is Warwick Dunn. He'll get the first down. And the one that the Buccaneers have never won a game when the temperature is below 40 degrees, and they still are in that same position. They took this guy out of the game just about. Mike Allstott.
Yeah, and they did that when they got ahead, and then they had a pass, and then they weren't able to do that.
Here's Dilfer. Incomplete.
Ooh,
Thomas, the intended receiver, Doug Evans right with him.
Eugene Robinson is lucky that they didn't call a penalty on that. I don't know that he meant to hit him, but he got in there and hit Rob Thomas awfully late. I think he's talking there that he really didn't mean to. He just couldn't stop himself, but he did it.
You know, you get to a point when a team beats you 3 times in a year, or you get in that situation where you never won a game when the temperature is less than 40. Can we do it?
Yeah,
you get doubts in your head.
And the other thing is Green Bay has never in the history of the franchise ever lost a playoff game here.
Right. Copeland.
But I think what that does, I think that gives Tony Dungy something to build on. You know, to say we aren't as good as the Green Bay Packers, but that's where we have to go.
Been watching the free preview of the new cable package? We hope you've had a good laugh with the Comedy Network. Spent some quality time with History Television. And enjoyed some home life with Home and Garden Television Canada. Just 3 of the many channels in the new cable package. The free preview ends soon. To order, call 1-888-591-1997. You could win great prizes, so turn on, tune in, and enjoy.
So they tell me I'm behind on my RSPs. I tell them, right, I'm behind. So what are you gonna do about it, they say. I say it's decision time. I say I'm gonna do something. Because doing nothing is the worst idea of all. Let's see, what did it say? Borrow money to save money. Hang on here. The catch-up loan for unused RRSP contributions. Borrow 15, get back 6 in income tax, put that against the loan, pay back $170 a month, grows to $20,996 in just over 5 years. Over $70,000 in 25 years. This works. Decision made. We can do this, Charlie. Come on, let's wake the boss.
The Scotia RRSP catch-up loan. Call 1-800-575-8888.
Fourth quarter was brought to you by Scotiabank. You always know you're in the leading funds with Scotia Leaders Program.
(21-7) Green Bay. You were talking about Ron Wolf a minute ago. That's Richie McKay, John McKay's son, the first coach of the Buccaneers, and he's done a heck of a job as their general manager building this team.
Yeah, building this team, bringing Tony Dungy in there, you know that group working together, and they're all young. I mean, you know, it's a young organization and an organization that is on the right road.
Dilfer, deep for Rob Thomas, incomplete, intercepted by Mike Pryor.
Well, that's that 3-3 dime we talk about. 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs. That's when Pryor's in there. Pryor's just sitting there as a safety waiting for it. And he got it, and all the Packers have to do now is run out the clock and start thinking about the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I was talking to Richie McKay before the game, and he said, I think we got a chance to win this game if it's an ugly game. But any game where Brett Favre's involved is not going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a fun game.
No, and Brett Favre is a factor. You know, I mean, those are the things. In fact, we talked about that in the pregame show, that you can have game plans and you can have schemes, and then he starts to run around and he breaks down all your plans and all your schemes, because you can't practice against the things that he can do to you. Although the 49ers are going to start this afternoon trying.
He just kneels. The Bucs are out of timeouts. And that's about all that Brett Favre needs to do.
You know, and this is big for Mike Holmgren. That,
oh, yeah.
You know, he's going back to San Francisco where he grew up, where he went to high school in San Francisco, where he was an assistant coach with the 49ers. And, you know, that has to give you some chills to take your team back into your hometown and play a championship game, knowing that if you win that, you get to go to your second Super Bowl in a row.
What a great guy he is, Mike Holmgren.
And he's a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows what it takes. He knows how to treat players. He knows how to, you know, handle a football team. He knows how to coach a quarterback. All the difference that he's made in Brett Favre.
He and Steve Mariucci.
Right.
Who they'll see next week.
I know it. And they'll be paired against each other. And these fans are going to go crazy now as this game is over, because they know that this is the last time that they're going to see their team in person.
This year.
This year. That they could have 2 more games, but both of them will be away. One in San Francisco, and if they win there, the Super Bowl, of course, in San Diego.
This season. Not this year.
No, that's right. This season.
21-7. The Packers still have not lost a playoff game here.
And I don't think any of these fans have left, Pat. I mean, they're enjoying this moment, knowing that this is it for this season, the last time they're going to see him in person, and they're going to enjoy it. They're going to sit in these seats, and they're going to love every moment of this.
The play of the game coming up is brought to you by Energizer. Dorsey Levens, another big day.
Especially another big second half.
Yep.
The Packers kind of wore him down in the second half, and Dorsey Levens wore him down and started running around some tacklers and running through the rest of them.
And right now, let's quickly send you down with Ron Pitts.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. Coach, you didn't start off playing the kind of football I know you want to play here, but it ended up okay. You got the win. You're headed to the NFC Championship game.
That's very exciting, Ronnie. I couldn't be prouder of my team and my coaching staff. I'll tell you, in the first half, we were playing like we were at the playground, though. So, hey, give Tony Dungy credit and the entire Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization. They remind me a little of us a couple years ago coming up, and they're a great football team. It was a good game today.
You're going to see an old friend next week, Steve.